Coming up next on All About Android, it's me, Jason Howell, my co-host Ron Richards, and just the two of us. We don't have a whole lot of news to talk about, but we do have a ton of rumors, really interesting stuff there. We've got a ton of your feedback. In fact, it's like a double amount of feedback this episode. A few breaking news bumper breaks for various reasons that, again, aren't very newsy, but what are you going to do? But we work with what we got, and what we got is a palooza of rumors and feedback coming up next on All About Android.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Listeners of this program get an ad-free version if they're members of Club Twit. $7 a month gives you ad-free versions of all of our shows, plus membership in the Club Twit Discord, a great clubhouse for Twit listeners. And finally, the Twit Plus feed with shows like Stacy's Book Club, The Untitled Linux Show, The Giz Fizz, and more. Go to twit.tv/clubtwit. And thanks for your support.
Hello, welcome to All About Android, episode 580, recorded on Tuesday, May 31st, 2022. Your weekly source for the latest news, hardware, and apps for the Android faithful. I'm Jason Howell.
And I am Ron Richards. Nice to see you, Jason.
Good to see you, too. And we have no one else. Nope.
Crickets.
Is
there a cricket sound effect? I think we have a cricket sound effect.
We've got to have a cricket sound effect. There we go.
There it is.
With no wind, no flow, no random guest of the day.
No news to speak of either. Also, so here we are.
Look.
It is May 31st, and we're coming out of the Memorial Day weekend here in the States. Everybody. I feel like everybody's still a little hungover from Google I/O. I think
that's what it is. Like when I really kind of look at and even what we do have in here to talk about. Like I'm just going to give you a forewarning. There is no actual news on today's episode. At a certain point, it just became like the directive. It was like, all right, let's do this. This episode is all rumor, because why the heck not? And then all feedback. So we've got like double trouble feedback and a whole bunch of rumor stuff.
So when you told me that earlier, I believe my response was Rumor-palooza.
Yeah.
So Android Rumor-palooza, all
Rumor
about
avalanche.
Android rumors. Yeah, I think we should give rumorific as we go through each rumor. I feel like we should give, and I have not read them. I'm coming, but we should give like a percent, like a some sort of rating or grade.
Ooh, confidence rating.
Get confidence or believability of the rumor.
How confident are we that this will or will not happen or will happen? I guess we should lock it into one direction. Okay. I like how this is shaping up. But anyways, to put a cap on what my point was when I mentioned the rumors is that a lot of this stuff is kind of about, well, at least the first block anyways, entirely, is about stuff we heard at Google I/O. So it really does, and I feel like this happens every year. There's a little bit of a vacuum after all of that news. And it's also kind of the point in the summer where people aren't, companies aren't releasing a ton of phones right now. That tends to come a little bit later in the summer. Samsung's event later in the summer, so we're just kind of in this little lull right now, and that's okay. It's
going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Every once in a while it happens, and here we're here to guide you through it.
That's right. So, we're here to calm you down. Don't panic. Just whatever you do, don't panic, okay? It's going to be all right. Okay. So without...
do we have a rumor bumper?
I don't
know. We need a rumor bumper, I think, Victor.
I'm surprised if at some point we could... Breaking rumors... It's just breaking news. Okay.
No, that's breaking rumors.
That was good.
That was purely Burke trying to get out of having to do the news bumper.
Yeah, but it's not going to happen because Burke, it's time for the news.
I hate to compound this whole lack of news, but it got leaked on eBay this morning.
You got leaked on eBay. Yeah. Then it got pulled. All right. So this was kind of crazy. this happened. I was like, oh, we're definitely talking about this. And
Oh,
what
for
do you
sure,
know?
for sure.
It's the
This
leak.
isn't even a rumor. This happened. This is fact.
No, that's true. I guess
This is
I guess
fact.
this is really fact.
Before you read the story, I'm going to say I believe 100% in this one.
Do you? Because it could be a pretend thing. It never sold.
could be.
What are
Good
we
point.
even talking about right now? Well,
Let's talk about it for 10 minutes without telling them what it is.
Yes,
Let's talking
okay.
vague generalities.
Oh, man.
No, I'm sorry.
Yes, and I'm sure a certain percentage of our listeners would unsubscribe at that point.
No. Stay. Please stay. So.
Google, as we know at Google I/O, took the lid off of the Pixel 7. Basically, they got ahead of any of the rumors and said, hey, here it is. It's got a shiny metallic camera bar on back. And they didn't really go into too much detail about it other than to acknowledge that it exists, show you a couple of photos of it, and give tech writers everywhere a hero image for all articles that they write from here until the phone releases, basically.
And the whole spoiling the leaks and the, hey, the next phone's coming, here's what it looks like, and thus taking the wind out of our sails for months.
Yeah.
Right?
Or did they? Because
Or did they? Dun, dun, dun.
Apparently that doesn't mean that leaks can't happen, because it kind of is. Okay, I guess there's a difference between rumors and leaks, but I kind of put them in similar categories. An eBay listing for the Pixel 7 appeared very briefly on, you guessed it, eBay. A prototype for the standard device. So this wasn't the Pro device. This was the standard Pixel 7. And you know this because when you look at the camera bar, it has one less camera and everything like that. Yeah. Also included wow, what am I looking at?
Whoa. Who did this?
Oh, whoops! Sorry,
this
that's the thing
happen?
that leaked this morning from the news bumper. Sorry.
So for our
Wait,
audio,
what?
pull that back
Did I
up.
just
For our
see?
audio listeners, for some reason, Burke on the video just pulled together a screenshot from eBay where somebody is selling Burke's epic Android news bumper for $19.98, and it's got
legit.
the Android news bumper. It looks
Wow.
legitimate. It does.
Yeah, it's an open box.
Is this to illustrate the fact that someone can put together a photoshopped eBay listing?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Is that commentary on the story?
Yeah,
that
are you
you're giving
making
us?
a point right now?
Yeah.
You could do. Someone could do that.
Yeah, apparently. Screenshots are pretty easy to make.
I wasn't trying to make that point.
Except friend of the show, Michel Rahman, actually, I don't know if he discovered it or what, but he tweeted about it early while it was, I think there was still a listing. If you try and go to eBay now and look at the listing, you can only get it on this this listing has ended by the seller page. But if you actually hit that see original listing button next to the title of that listing,
You can still see it.
it won't take you there. I think it.
Oh,
I think
interesting.
Because it was
it just
ended
goes
by
to-
the
yeah.
seller.
Yeah.
It's possible that you could go to. I'm not sure, but it's possible that you could go to archive.
Or maybe if you're like if you're like a registered seller or something.
maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe?
I don't do eBay, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah. So
Because that thing was legit.
a part of us has to just kind of go off of some of the articles. Although Eric Duckman is sharing a listing. Yeah, it's the same thing, Eric. So yeah, you can see that kind of like landing page, but when you try and go in for more detail, it doesn't let you. So what happened here? Well, apparently the person who put it up for sale did so, listed it as a starting bid of $450. But apparently this person, it's a prototype of the standard device, right? So it's a prototype. That seller bought it, or so he or she claims, from a wholesaler, and they didn't actually know what they were buying. They looked it up later and realized, oh, wait a minute, this is the Pixel 7. And so they put it up. So there's no information right now as far as why that listing was removed. Did Google get involved and say, hey, take this down, you can't sell that? Did they find a buyer outside of eBay, which you could do and you could pull down the listing? Did they decide, hey, wait, this is hard to find, maybe I want to hold on to this for some reason? One thing that I think is curious, and it included a bunch of a carousel of a bunch of photos of the device and everything. But if you look at some of the photos that were included, the reflection off of the device is the Pixel 7 Pro taking the picture. So apparently that person is like flush with Pixel 7 prototypes of all different kinds. So there you have it. We can't buy it, but you could potentially for a short bit.
It's I don't know. This whole thing is strange.
Orchestrated by Google. Okay, so how about on this one, confidence meter, because it probably is the Pixel 7.
Yeah.
Well, actually, but it could not be. So maybe we just need to keep locked into the idea.
But
do you think it's real?
I do like the fact that the photos had the reflection of a Pixel 7 Pro taking it.
Yeah.
So someone had a Pixel 7 and a Pixel 7 Pro and were taking pictures with the Pixel 7 Pro.
And
like
apparently
you can't. I mean, I guess you could architect that on Photoshop, but I feel like that would be very hard to replicate. You know what I mean? That's a very specific detail, right?
Yeah. Is that the photo that has the really? Yeah, I mean that shows it a little bit. I feel like I saw. Yeah, the bar.
Yeah. Enhance.
Doesn't enhance, but you can see the
dots, the holes,
the dots, and then the camera.
Okay, so if you
and
go to
then
the
bar.
next camera in that carousel, or the next image in that carousel.
For audio listeners, we're looking at these photos.
Yeah, we're scrutinizing. We're doing all the detective work that's required.
Because someone has to.
Yeah. You could call us the Android police, but don't do that because
because we're not. Because we are not.
Is this one?
No, go to the next one. If there should be an arrow on that carousel. Okay, so now scroll down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's much better. I see it.
Yeah, and if you scroll down,
you don't have to.
Yeah, look at that.
That's a little bit more distinctive.
And you got that.
But
third
also,
camera.
that's a different phone.
What's also in the reflection? This is like it looks like it's in a Star Wars spaceship.
It's like an RV or something.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Or a
Like,
porta potty.
I see a power plug on the side of the wall.
It looks like it's like on the Rebellion blockade runner.
What's up at the top there? Like, what's going on up there on the roof?
I don't know.
I know that person in the reflection looks like me, but it's not. I promise you, it's definitely not. Okay, can we cut away from that? That is not me in the reflection of that photo. Okay. Man. Okay, let's never look at that again. And everybody don't look at these listings.
So what do you believe this, Jason, or do you think it's Photoshop foolery?
I believe it. Yeah, I will. I will give this a
So who do you think was the seller? Who was the seller? Was it like the manufacturer, or like who would be like?
Well,
how did they?
That's a good question.
How did this happen?
I mean, they say that it was a prototype that they got from a wholesaler. So then that begs the question, like, how does a wholesaler have these prototype devices from? Yeah, I guess so.
Right? So. Like, is the Pixel 7 an off-the-shelf Shenzhen special?
They didn't say that they were working.
True.
I mean, okay, they're working enough to take photos.
I was going to say they were working,
or at least the one that's taking the picture.
Yeah. Supposedly. I don't know. It's very weird. This kind of stuff happens every once in a while, but it's also strange that this is happening months ahead of time. Although not really that strange. Think back to, was it last year when the Pixel 6 was leaked far, in the summertime? We're at the beginning of the summertime now, so I guess it makes sense. I guess it's possible.
When was the Pixel 6 leaked? When was that?
Yeah, I guess it was like June or July was my
I see one in September. Let's see, that's a September one.
Yeah, I feel like it was June or July.
Let's see, June 2021. Now let's watch us go to Google. I see a lot in September before it was announced. I don't see anything in the summer, though.
What's up with this little door? I don't know. This weird, like...
Pop-up camera? Oh, no.
I wish.
Is that's the SIM compartment?
No, it's huge. It's way too big to be a SIM compartment.
Well, no, not necessarily. But
not
how do you eject
it? Takes up literally
the little dot, the little circle on the left.
No, that doesn't eject to the port on the right.
Oh yeah,
that's like a microphone.
Yeah.
Microphone area.
Fascinating.
I don't know. Anyways, there we go. Maybe it's sealed up for this like prototype model. I'm not sure.
I don't know. You can't believe it.
But there we go. All right, so we both feel pretty confident that this was the real deal.
I feel like that's pretty confident. I'll give that a confident score of confident. So.
Okay, what about this next one, Ron?
This next one, I feel like we need a special category of recycled rumors.
Yes.
You know, if a rumor worked last year, bring it back and do it again this year. Because I don't know do you remember the Pixel Ultra rumors from last year?
Oh, yeah, I remember those.
You know, those ones that did not come true. Well, don't give up the ghost on this one, because 9to5 Google has confirmed a Pixel device with a code name that is as of yet unknown. That's the best kind of code name, the unknown code name. But the the quote unquote G10 tag relates to an unknown device's display spec. And for context, the C10 tag was tied to the Pixel 7 Pro display, and P10 tied to the Pixel 7 display. So the suggestion being that the G10 is pointing to a display of another as yet named or codenamed device.
Right.
It's likely to run the Tensor chip, which honestly is a surprise because I think everything's got to run the Tensor chip from now on out. And it's leading further into Pixel phone territory. So if they're going to do a high-end Pixel, what else would the Pixel Ultra have to differentiate it from the Pixel Pro?
Right. So if this is a different display technology, then what is?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what that means actually. Like, because I would imagine the 7 Pro would have 120 hertz display at least.
I would assume. Yeah, I would assume. Right.
So the Ultra being better than that.
Yeah.
It's a good question. Maybe improved battery life or faster charging spec. I don't know. Pocket now has some guesses as well.
What else could it have?
They have so they say
better
display,
camera,
more cameras. I'd be surprised if there was more cameras. Although, what about the return of Face Unlock and the return of Soli?
No.
You think that ship has sailed?
I think so. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe it has a slide-up camera.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah,
this
possibly.
not to criticize our friends over at Pocket Now, but like one of the ones they list in here is bug-free software and long-term support.
Wow.
Now I get the long-term support thing, like we want like 5 years of support, whatever. But the bug-free software is just, I feel like that's a little snarky given, the buggy problems that we had with the Pixel 6 and stuff like that.
And all of
I think everyone wants bugs. No one wants bugs in their software.
And Google's not going to promote that either. If you want the regular Pixel experience, get these two. But if you want your experience without bugs, get the Ultra. Yeah, probably not.
Listen,
that way.
It's not a bug; it's a feature, Jason. So what do you think? Pixel Ultra, believable, unbelievable?
I'm having a hard time believing this one. I'm having a hard time, and from the perspective of, I have a hard time believing that there's going to be this third model that we haven't already heard of in some way, shape, or form.
Now here's where I'm gonna throw a curve.
Okay.
I do think it's believable, but is it the foldable? Why does it have to be the Ultra and like a high end type thing? Like we know a foldable is in the distance.
Okay.
That could be considered high end. I mean, like, how much were Samsung's foldables? Those are all north of $1,500, right?
Yeah. Well, how about we jump into the next story then? Because
I've rendered you speechless.
Because this actually, I'm reorganizing things because you connected some dots that I didn't connect before. So I moved a story up. Speaking of the Fold, the Pixel in this Pixel rumor avalanche that we are currently in the midst of, aka the Pixel Notepad. Google, as you know, did not even mention it during Google I/O, and there was some ideas that Google was going to, and they, of course, did not. There's a new report by The Elec that says that it's being postponed once again. The plan was to launch this by the end of 2022. We talked about that on the show in the past. Sources now saying that it's being delayed till next spring, saying that it continues to fail in meeting Google's expectations. So year after year, the Pixel Fold gets pushed off until the next year because it's just not good enough. You're not good enough, Pixel Fold.
You got to really wonder when are they going to get it right. That's the thing. And if this is true, I will commend Google for not wanting to ship a subpar product. Like if it's not to the point where they want it to be, then that's great. So, I man, I want this foldable badly. I want this Pixel foldable.
I'm curious.
So do you find that believable? Is this report believable, Jason? What is your confidence factor on this rumor?
I strongly believe that we will not see a Pixel Fold this year.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't.
Why do you? A more serious question, Jason. Why do you hate foldables?
I don't hate foldables. I'm just not seeing enough here.
Sounds like you do.
Right? Thank you, Burke.
I'm not saying we will not see it because I hate foldables. I'm just saying I just don't think, like, I give credibility to this because and I think what it is Google has not proven to me that they are quick on the jump for a lot of things in hardware, to be honest. Right. But to go into a category that's still very early, like foldables is still a very experimental category of smartphones. Yeah. And there aren't a whole lot of companies getting it right, like not only releasing a product that does well in the foldable space, but also a successful product that people actually want. Samsung's done a great job with that. The others are very, like, I have the suspicion through all the months that we've talked about the different foldables coming out, that they're a pretty small part of any business's catalog as far as what they're selling. Maybe Samsung is doing it the best out of any of them, and Samsung has a lot of experience. Google has very limited experience bringing a lot of hardware to market, let alone a brand new category like foldables that's still very experimental. So I don't know. I just have the hunch that Google's going to take longer on getting the Fold out. What do you think?
I want to believe, but I want to believe that the foldable will be out sooner than later, and I want to disprove this rumor, but I don't have a leg to stand on. I can't. I got nothing. I got nothing to back that up other than a hope and a dream. So yeah. So I guess if there's any news about the Pixel Foldable coming out, I got to believe it, because any rumor is better than silence, right?
Yeah. So then going back, because I want to note these, because often we get to the future and then we go, wait a minute, what did we think? And we try and go back and we can't figure out because we're not going to spend the time to watch the episode again. So, high-end Ultra Pixel phone, you said that you think it will or will not happen.
Well, I was swerving, trying to make it the foldable, despite this report.
Yeah. So, okay. So these kind of tie together. Do you think?
Yeah. I don't think the Ultra will happen. I don't think it's going to happen.
Not gonna happen.
So, what do you think?
And then that's kind of how I felt too. It's not gonna happen. Right. Not this year, but I suppose we'll see. And then the foldable by the end of the year. Do you think it's gonna happen?
I mean, I can't. No, I don't think it's gonna happen. I want to be wrong about that.
We're gonna get you to say it. Yeah, no. I mean, this is dancing around it, Ron.
Make sure you quote him, Jason.
This is like the argument I get into my friends about the Oscars when we do our Oscars pool, because it's like I have friends who vote for their Oscar picks based on like the movie they liked, and me and like another friend are like, no, it doesn't matter what you liked. It's you're guessing what the Academy likes, right? Like oftentimes you're going against the movie you liked because it's how the Academy is going to vote. So like I want there to be a foldable next year, but this year, but I mean. I don't know. What is it? June? It's June tomorrow, and October is when it's going to get announced. We would have seen more substantial rumordom going on if we're looking at a fall announcement for this thing. Yeah. So,
yeah. But we are 5 months out, so I guess anything can change. We could be surprised, and then we will eat our socks. All right, you have the next one.
Speak for yourself, sir. I am not eating my socks.
I'll eat brand new socks.
Yeah, because they're not dirty yet; they've been sullied. Yeah, that's fair. All right, so this is a rumor following up on discussions we've had on this very show, because we've recently talked at length about the potential battery life of the upcoming Pixel Watch. And I know, Jason, there was discussion of it lasting a week, or is it even going to last a day or 3 days or whatever it might be. Well, a little editorializing here. Unsurprisingly, a source close to the watch admits that the Pixel Watch battery will last a day.
Yeah.
A single day.
A single day.
Now, of course, that's what the source is saying now. This could change for the release. Currently, right now, the battery capacity is slightly under 300 milliamp, which is, it's all pretty standard, non-surprising kind of stuff. But also the charging speed would be pretty standard too, around 110 minutes for a full charge compared to 0 to 80% in 45 minutes of the Apple Watch.
Ouch.
So, Jason, you were particularly harsh and critical of the Pixel Watch last week, if I remember correctly. How do you grade this rumor? This one you got to be believing. Right?
I don't feel critical of the Pixel Watch. I think that the idea that the Pixel Watch is going to come out and have days long battery is ridiculous. to put a single word on it. And this kind of confirms my belief is that it's going to be just like most other smartwatches out right now. It has the same battery technology, same-ish size of battery. It's doing a lot of the same things. Why would it be any different? I don't think software optimizations are good ways to eke out little bits of extra performance here and there or extra longevity, but they don't make long, broad strokes of longevity differences. It's not going to last you 2 days because of software, in my opinion, but I can be wrong.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I give high credibility to this. I think this is accurate.
Yeah, I feel like it's got to be accurate too. I don't know anything about battery technology and all that sort of stuff, but I got to imagine unless there's a major advancement either with the battery itself, and 300 milliamp is not a lot, or how the OS is managing that battery life in terms of the radios and all the things that are on, that sort of thing. To your point, like if they had cracked it, we would have heard about it at I/O.
Yeah, totally.
Right? They would have been they would have been touting that.
Yeah,
right?
they would have been like, and wait till you experience the battery longevity that we have on the Pixel Watch.
Right, you won't believe it stays on for 2 weeks. Like they would do some BS thing like that.
Yeah. So we both agree on that one. That sounds pretty spot on.
This is pretty easy to line up with this one. So.
And then this last one, actually, now that I look at it, isn't. Well, maybe, no, it still is rumory because I don't think they know exactly what it's associated with. But the Pixel tablet, that's the tablet that isn't even coming until next year, right, sometime, might have Universal Stylus Initiative certification when it launches. And USI is basically a standard for active input by like a pen or a stylus. Google actually joined in 2018 for their Chromebook efforts. If this happens, this would be the first Android device to support USI for stylus input, and would, potentially, as a result, could be the first device to market. But it's a long time between now and when that happens. So maybe other devices will come out to support USI certification as well. So there's that. The question that I have about this is, how does a stylus fit into, like, a friend of the show, Michelle Rahman, had gone on extensively on Twitter and on this show, I believe he talked about it, about this upcoming tablet coming from Google that would be a removable kind of dockable tablet Nest Hub sort of thing. So it's like a smart home device that you can remove the tablet and use it as a tablet. How does an S Pen fit into that view? Those seem like
a good question.
Like I don't know, confusing crossovers.
Yeah, and I don't know the answer to that. Yeah, for sure.
You don't work for Google. You're not on the Pixel tablet hardware team.
I will say, shockingly enough, in looking at the speculated or whatever thought, kind of a pro, or no, didn't Google show the tablet?
They showed it. They showed
an image, right?
Yeah, it's like
it had a pretty thick bezel. It had a pretty thick bezel, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it looks pretty thick. Yeah, it does.
So if you got a thick bezel, you can slide a pen in there. Right?
Oh, okay. All right, you can dock a pen in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It just sounds like, and they only show one side. Maybe the pen docks on the other side.
It's a pretty thick bezel.
Yeah, but look how thick that bezel is,
it really
man,
does
right?
look
Look
thick,
at that. Yeah.
I mean, I
think you can
suppose
get that
it's
in
kind
there.
of hard to know, but it looks thick to me.
I'm going to back this rumor.
Yeah.
I'm going to say yes to this one.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Yeah, I think so too. What I don't know is whether the Pixel tablet really is going to be the Nest removable tablet thing. There's just something.
I don't know if it's going to be the removable tablet thing, but I think it's going to have that same look. I definitely think it will.
Okay.
I think they want unification in the hardware that they're putting out there, and so like that I do believe that. So
all right,
call me crazy.
We're pretty unified then. We're unified on all of these rumors, whether we believe them or not. So
we've been doing this for a long time. So I'm not surprised. So.
I'm not surprised either. All right, coming up next. Well, actually, even though that was the news block, it was really the hardware block. But we got to have some time for the hardware bumper as well. So coming up next, it's hardware.
Well, and I feel like the differentiator here is that the news block was really the rumor block, and the hardware block.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, this is a little more solid, not as rumory or whatever. But I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I know, true. I'm so excited that I get to talk about nothing.
Yes.
Which is great because Carl Pei gave an interview to, of all places, Wallpaper magazine. Didn't see that one coming. I guess with the design aspect.
Yeah, I think that's part of it.
Yeah. But so he confirmed a little more details of the Nothing Phone 1. And for our audio listeners, I'm making parentheses around my head as I say the word one. I still don't know what I want to hear Carl Pei refer. Is it the phone one? Is it like what? Like I don't know how do you say this out loud? But he confirmed that it would have a transparent backplate design, along with a recycled aluminum frame, a wireless charging coil on the back that will look neat through that transparent black backplate. So those are all facts. Those are not rumors because those came out of Carl Pei's mouth. But a different leak from All Round PC pegs the new phone to be released in July, and it's set to launch around €500, which translates to $536. And just for a quick comparison, the Pixel 6 costs around $600. So it's going to be slightly less than the Pixel 6. Yeah, I mean, you got Carl Pei on record with Wallpaper magazine talking about the charging coil and the transparent back. That should be pretty cool. So this reminds me of do you remember when Nintendo came out with a transparent Game Boy?
Oh, I vaguely remember that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel this is more a Flo's alley than anything, but I don't know. I think the novelty of transparent with electronics is a little dated, but that's just me, maybe.
Yeah,
but,
maybe it's a classic look. I mean, the look of the technology that's inside of the cases that we use, like that will always be the technology that's in there. It's it's always going to have that kind of look to it. So maybe it's an old classic look that never dies. I forgot about the transparent Game Boy. That's a really perfect kind of comparison. Yeah, those are cool looking.
Yeah, I guess it's neat to see what's inside of it, right?
Yeah, totally.
I'm waiting for the day where we get a phone made out of transparent aluminum, as made popular in Star Trek 4.
Yeah, keep waiting on that. Yeah.
Let's not forget the iMac the original iMac was transparent plastic. You could see inside of it.
That's true. Okay,
right?
Lending more credence to your dated.
What other? A 90s concept here. Maybe the Nothing Phone 1 is going to be like a real kind of retro play.
Yeah, right? 90s throwback.
What other transparent electronics were there?
I don't remember, but I do remember that the OnePlus which was the OnePlus that came out in the last couple of years that had that was it an infrared camera or something that when you actually shot certain plastic pieces of technology, it would see through the plastic and let you see the technology underneath. So
that's pretty cool.
Kind of have that aesthetic.
I will say, I will admit that I just searched for transparent electronics 90s, and I now recall there being transparent phones. Do you remember the phone that was like all 90s kind of style, and it was a transparent phone? But also there was the transparent Nintendo 64.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Right.
Yes. Right. Tamagotchis.
Tamagotchis. Yep.
There was a PDA.
There was?
What PDA was transparent?
God, I can't even. I had one even.
The Trio. The Trio.
No, it was before that. It wasn't not Palm. The other one. What was the?
It was I'm looking at it right now. It was a Palm 3E was transparent. Oh no, the Handspring.
Yes,
the Handspring.
That's it.
And I had one of those too. People who left Palm went to start Handspring, and then Palm bought Handspring, right? Or Trio bought Handspring. I forget, but I had a Handspring. Yes, I remember that.
Man, I totally and completely forgot that the 90s had a whole transparent electronics thing going.
Yep.
Now that I'm looking at them, I'm like,
there was also like a neon bulb going through around the edge of the base of the phone.
Everything old is new. I also had a transparent beeper.
Okay. In the days of the beepers. That's right.
The beeper, yep. So you didn't want to get a 911 text from your girlfriend that made you drop everything and go,
Yeah,
"What's the
right.
matter, baby? It's okay."
I'm on my way. I'm here to save the day. Yeah, it's a total 90s throwback. I mean, hey, that is kind of like now. Now is very 90s
it's very
time,
So let's start the rumor that the Nothing phone is going to be a total retro play.
It could end up being a retro play, whether they wanted it to be or not. That could be the story once it finally comes out. I'm curious to see what a smartphone looks like that, because I feel like the only other time that we've seen something similar to that, it was fake transparency. What was the phone? Was it also a OnePlus phone that came out that had the like?
Was it like the back of it was?
Yeah, the back of it
when you looked through it,
but it wasn't actually transparent. It was like fake transparency.
How do you even look that up?
I don't even know. I don't even know.
OnePlus transparent cover. There it is. No, that's not it. That's just a cover that's transparent. Yeah.
Right.
No, but there was a phone where it had like, this is what the phone looks like on the inside.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I can't remember if it was OnePlus or if it was Motorola.
I don't think it was
couldn't be
OnePlus.
the
I think it was
essential.
I think it was somebody else.
Yeah, could be.
Oh, man.
No clue.
Android
But
phone.
nothing could carve out its niche, whatever you want to say there.
Which one was that? Somebody
can't
in the
remember.
chat's got to know that. Oh, man, that's going to drive me crazy now. We definitely talked about that, where they had how the phone looked on the back of it. Yeah. Oh, man.
And I think even at the time we were like, this would be really cool if they actually did this, because my understanding is that it wasn't true transparency, that like they were faking it somehow.
Yeah, it was. I remember, and it was farther back, I think, and it was just like it was just like a sticker sort
it was
of
like a
case.
sticker.
Yeah, it was
or
totally
like just the back of the phone.
I'm really hoping I blew a gasket on some sort of Google server somewhere, because I just wrote Android phone with inside on back.
And Google's like, okay, we're going to need all the AI.
We're going to figure this out. Sergey's beeper just went off, and he's like, we have a new thing to figure out.
Oh,
what
wow.
does this person mean?
This is a query that's literally never been done before. Okay. Everybody, get on the case.
I love it.
Let's solve it for this guy, Wrong-so. All right. Well, while everybody looks for that, because there is definitely an answer there, but we aren't finding it. Rumor in Samsung land. See, we're covering all the bases today. Summer, as I said earlier, is Samsung's big foldable release time. Later this summer, we're probably going to get some of Samsung's latest foldable updates. And you can imagine and expect that the Z Fold will be part of that avalanche, and that is true. Ice Universe on Twitter spilled all the beans about the Z Fold4. And kind of looking at the specs, it kind of seems like it's a minor spec bump from the Z Fold 3. It's nothing groundbreaking or major as far as that's concerned. Except, so it will have the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1, so it's going to have the most up-to-date processor, assuming it remains the most up-to-date processor. 12 gigs of RAM, 256 512 gig storage, which I think for this phone is kind of standard at this point. But I think the interesting thing here is that the camera system is looking to take a step up. And actually, on these foldables, up until now, the camera system has been kind of the step down. It's kind of like been everything else is flagship except for the cameras. If you want the best cameras, get the flagship Galaxy S series or whatever, the Ultra, whatever it may be. But apparently these cameras are going to be stepping up to match at least some of the flagship cameras offered on the standard devices that Samsung releases. So you get the foldable and you don't have to sacrifice on your camera, even though their cameras I felt were pretty good, but they aren't the same. They're definitely
that's the thing. I'm glad to see them going in this direction, because you really do kind of want to have parity between the foldable. You don't want the foldables to be less than, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so like anything that comes up as less than, like how you can eliminate that and give it, equal kind of parts to the flagships, right? And so that's nice to hear. So.
Yeah. Cool. So there you go. You'll get better cameras out of it, out of the Z Fold 4 whenever that comes to pass. And yeah, I think that's a notable improvement. That's always the thing that when anyone is testing out these devices and writing about it and reviewing it and everything, that's the easy kind of target. It's like, yeah, but you're not going to get as good pictures. The internals, the processor might be improved. You're getting flagship performance out of your processor now because you weren't even getting that before. Now you are on those foldables. Yeah, but the camera was always lagging. So good on Samsung. I think
it's a notable foldable? Is that what you're saying?
Notable foldable.
Notable foldable. There it is.
That's a nice ring.
So great.
It.
Wow.
Whoa.
All right. Well, before we get into the last story of hardware, we got some breaking news thanks to the chat.
All right.
So
yeah,
we asked, and they found it.
Yeah,
and
no kidding. They were busy.
I'll quote Cousin of John in the chat room. We've fallen into a hornet's nest of transparent Android phones, which is true. So I've organized them so far in chronological order. No, actually, Burke, that's the wrong one. Do the first link. So in 2017, we had the LG G6 that was a see-through phone.
Burke is sighing so hard right now.
Yeah. So this one is.
I like how you insert the link above the one after the one that I already loaded.
Sorry, it's not my. Listen, I'm not in control of breaking news here. I'm going chronologically.
Yeah, it's breaking news. It breaks all the rules.
2017, the LG G6 with a see-through back, and it's a total clear plastic transparent one. So
wow,
yeah.
No kidding.
So
I don't even remember this one.
Right.
I don't even remember the LG G6 see-through.
So then in 2018, we had, and now, Burke, you can pull up the one that you had previously pulled up. HTC.
Don't worry, Burke's a little slow today.
Oh, wait.
All right, so there's the LG one.
All right, go back to the LG one.
Just for the record, Ron, I have to reload the dock every time you do anything like that
really?
for me to see it at all to click on. So.
Really?
I didn't know that. I'm sorry. I thought Google Docs.
Now you can make jokes about my incompetence. It's fine.
Okay, so we're gonna pull up for our video viewers. You can see the LG G6 with its clear, transparent back, where you can see all of the guts of the phone there.
And that's is that next to a Samsung clear?
It does appear to be next to a Samsung
as well.
Yeah, which is weird.
I don't even remember hearing about these. I feel like I feel like the HTC one that we're about to talk about is the one that I remember.
Well, so then in 2018, HTC's flagship smartphone offered a translucent back. So not totally transparent, but translucent, where you could kind of see the inside of the top part of the phone. Right, and with the fingerprint sensor and the camera sensor and the flash and stuff like that.
Okay,
right? So there you go. And then in 2019, Xiaomi released the transparent phone in the upper part of it, and according to this headline, with fake parts.
Oh, so this was the one.
Yeah.
This was the one that I remember being.
This is the one that was like a sticker covering the actual thing. So
yeah. Okay. Wow. Chat room A+.
That's not the one I remember. But
as I said in the chat room to everybody, triple jackpot. Well done. So much transparent. And also, you'll notice that the last one was in 2019. Yet another victim of the pandemic. Transparent backed phones. So I'm glad that nothing is here to bring us back to normalcy. Yeah. So there it is. So.
Thank you, nothing, for making
supply
things.
Chain.
Yeah.
Supply chain.
Just blame it for everything. And our worlds are colliding between this breaking news and the nothing story and this next story, Ron, that you have.
Yes. So this is I'm a week from all those breaking news. So this is great because we mentioned HTC from a couple of years ago and their translucent back phone. But we also know that here in the now in 2022, HTC's Metaverse phone is a phone that everyone is clamoring for.
Oh, everyone.
Everyone. I mean, it's all everyone's talking about.
Yep.
It marks HTC's return to high-end devices, but with a Metaverse twist somehow. It's their first flagship in 4 years. HTC confirmed that via its HTC Taiwan Facebook page that it's delayed. So there it is. It was supposed to launch in April, and yet here we are the night before June. And honestly, why didn't we talk about it not coming out? The reason, of course, as I just mentioned, supply chain and COVID impacts, pandemic, yet another victim of the pandemic, the Metaverse phone. And in all seriousness, Taiwan is experiencing its worst outbreak of COVID currently. And I work with some folks in China and stuff like that. The past couple of months have been pretty rough for them. So, valid.
Yeah, absolutely.
So all I gotta say is that I know the legions of you out there who have been waiting for an AR Metaverse phone. You're gonna have to wait a little longer. So, let's just, it's just it's a small thing you need to do. Just wait a little bit longer and HTC will deliver the phone of your dreams at some point. So.
Yeah, all of those lifelong HTC fans who were at the front of the sales line for the blockchain phone that they released a couple of years now want to be at the front of the line for the Metaverse phone. How many of these do you think HTC actually sells? I can't imagine HTC's unloading tons and tons of blockchain.
I don't know that they're unloading tons of these, but I feel like there's an audience most likely for it.
Yeah.
How big that audience is TBD.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I feel like there's just a case on it that's the only thing that's different.
Yeah. Like what is a Metaverse phone other than a phone that just does AR? Like, but they all do AR to a certain degree. So how is the AR?
You'll have to wait till they release it to find out.
Phone different. I don't understand. This is the problem with rumor episodes. We don't actually know anything. We're just making guesses. But that's okay. Sometimes it's fun to make guesses too. Coming up, we've got, let me tell you, we had so much email that we've got a bunch of it in today's episode. Not just the normal amount, but extra. That's up next. AAA at twit.tv, 347-SHOW-AAA. Some of these emails are a little long, so I'm giving you a little forewarning. But we did hear from a lot of people about a lot of things the last couple of weeks. One week we couldn't read them because it was Google I/O week. And then just this past week, we got a bunch of emails. So we're going to try and get to a bunch of what you sent in, starting with Joel, who says, I've been an Android tablet user since Honeycomb days. Acer, going through the Nexus 7, the 10, the Pixel C, beloved, still not working, and clinging to the hope that I can find someone that can fix her. My latest Android tablet was the Lenovo 10. Can't remember the exact model name. I decided to give that to my brother since I inherited an iPad from my spouse, since I thought at the time that the app ecosystem was better on iOS tablets. Cut to Google I/O 2022. Google is apparently taking tablets seriously again, with the Google branded tablet being dangled in front of us for 2023. My iPad took a horrifying tumble in my basement's stairs, and I am in the market for a tablet. Google's announcement of a tablet has me on the fence to go back full on to the Android ecosystem. If the new Google Buds Pro with multi-point BT or Bluetooth work as advertised, that would be nice. Here's the skeptical part. Google has to really, really work on developers and quality. Case in point, I was using an app to schedule an appointment for grooming my dog in my Pixel 6 Pro. The app continually crashed after going past a certain date, say, for example, far into June or July. On a hunch, I went to my iPad, downloaded the same app. It loaded in iOS ugly, yucky compatibility mode for tablets, that is. It looked like a phone app in my big iPad screen. It worked flawlessly. I know this is probably on the app developer, but the fact that the exact same app worked well the first time on iOS versus continuously failing on Android makes me wonder. I have a feeling that Google has to do more to incentivize app developers to deliver not only on apps that scale and look great on tablets, but that work consistently as well. I hope that they do step up. I don't dislike my iPad, but I would prefer an end-to-end Android experience. I will remain on the fence and with a really badly broken iPad for at least the remainder of the year. So responsibility falls on developers to, which I mean is true, right? Developers hopefully are spending the time to make their app experiences similar between apps, even though sometimes there's more features over here versus there. But they should at least run as equally dependably, let's say, between platforms. And that can be frustrating. Although I will point out, like, you had the tablet to fall back on. Someone who didn't have that other tablet wouldn't be able to do anything. So at least you had that. But what do you think, Ron?
But I feel, and I agree with all your points. But what we saw coming out of I/O and all the talk with Android 12L and bigger displays and things like that, I feel like Google is laying the groundwork for that support and for that level of sophistication with developers. And now the developers, this goes back to this is the, I don't want to say horrible, but the challenging cycle of tablets, which is like Google can do what they can do, but developers need to do the work, and developers won't do the work unless the users are there, and the users aren't there unless there's hardware to be there, and the hardware's not going to be there unless Google has the commitment, and then developers follow through on the commitment. Like, and it just goes through this. You need something to break that kind of cycle and give tablets a new life. And maybe the new tablet, that we just talked about earlier in the show, that's likely going to have a pen in it now, coming out next year, will do that. Maybe the work with Android 12L and going into Android 13 and things like that to continue the support of larger displays will do that. But it's going to come down to the developers being incentivized to prioritize that work.
Yeah.
So,
and how does obviously, if Wen was here, we'd ask her how good of a job Google does in providing those incentives for developers.
Right.
And I don't know what the answer is to that, but
so here's what I think will be revealing is if we see end of the year awards for tablet apps, like things like that. Like if we start seeing, like ways to do it. But honestly, the Google Play Store is such a mess, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how they need to figure out a way to spotlight tablet apps and get that in the face of customers and users and things like that in a way that they're just not doing. They're not marketing them to the users really. So, yeah.
Yeah, and what does that mean when they do? Because back in 2013, Google was highlighting tablet apps. I just found that article.
I'm sorry, you mean nine years ago?
Yes, totally. Yeah. On its first tablet-focused push for tablet excellence on Android. What does it mean? Does it mean, are they featuring it because everybody loves DoorDash, or are they featuring it because DoorDash offers, and I don't know if this is true or not, but DoorDash offers an exceptional tablet experience that you don't find other apps doing? Because as a user, if I'm on the Play Store and it says tablet, a tablet section, sometimes it can be difficult knowing exactly what that means. Does that mean that they're supported well? Does that mean that it's unique, or that it's not broken, or what? At this point, those expectations are pretty low at this point, let's just say. So who knows what Google means when they highlight that. All right, you got the next one.
I sure do. And Miguel from Portugal writes in and says, although Wear OS gets a bad reputation, I've always found it very useful in my day-to-day life. I thought I would share some examples, hoping that maybe it could shed some light on why it could be very nice to use regularly. And point number one, watch stuff, of course. I wasn't sure what he meant by watch stuff.
Watching stuff.
Video. No, but watch stuff. So time, date, timer, chronometer, and notification triage, right? So that's an easy one. Health, basic fitness, sleep tracking, wake up alarm, travel, ETA. I get a lot of traffic in my commute, so opening Google Maps and seeing this at a glance is very useful. On vacation, using the phone for maps sometimes raises too much attention. Grocery lists, a lot better than using your phone. That's interesting. Work, multiple time zones. Next meeting. For me, this is the killer feature.
Yeah,
I'm always moving around at work, and this always has me easily check in when my next meeting is. And then his last point, watch face customization. He says there's so many options that you can do whatever you want. Flow. Although I use Puji Black for customizing my watch face, since you said you wanted cute watch faces, here's a link from Facer with watch faces designed by and for women. Nice. And it's a collection from the Femme Collective on Facer. I looked at them. They're very nice, very cool. Jason, it's also cool as a metronome.
Okay.
There you go. And for me, Ron, it's also great to quickly check what song is playing on your watch. Very nice to use with Release Radar on Spotify. And when people say, quote unquote, you can just grab your phone, the same can be said for you can just open your computer. It's all about convenience. And Miguel, those are all great points. And those are all, as a proud Wear OS watch user, I'm glad to hear you defending a piece of hardware that you enjoy and brings not only convenience and pleasure to your life, but also is efficient and helps you at work and that sort of thing. So cool. Good for you.
I mean, the point about work and multiple time zones and everything like that, would be the use case that I would probably get a lot out of with wearables if I didn't just like live 5 minutes from work, and you know what I mean? Like if I was actually traveling for work and flying around and going to multiple different time zones and everything, yeah, that would be incredibly useful to be able to look down and have it always synced to the right time zone and tell me that a meeting is coming up even though I'm in a different time zone, and those times get all, wacky when you're traveling and everything. That's really nice. I would have little use for that right now.
I would just like to leave the house more than once a week.
Yeah, right.
This way.
Set that bar low. Yeah.
Like I feel like Ron 10 years ago in San Francisco, living by himself and all that sort of stuff. But we had much more use cases for the watch. But this latest iteration, this latest chapter of my life, not as much.
Yeah, I know that feeling. I have used back in the earlier days of smartwatches. I had used my watch as a guitar tuner. I thought that was really handy.
There you go.
You could have that dialed up on your watch. And if you remember, I don't know how many years ago, we used it to find the nearest pizza restaurant. You remember that watch app that would point you in the direction?
I do remember that. Yeah.
Wherever the nearest pizzeria was. So, it's got some real good functionality. Sometimes you just have to know what to look for. So there's that. Thank you, Miguel, for writing it.
You just got to know what to look for. That's all it is.
Yeah, pizza. If your requirement is pizza, there's an app for that. Claude Stewart wrote in a short email on this one. Says, hello, I've been watching the discussion of the pocket lint in the ports. So we're still on the pocket lint topic. Says, I think it was one of my kids that told me 20 years ago to put my phone into my pants pocket top down, so the lint wouldn't end up in the charging port. I've never had a problem with the lint.
Which is really funny he says that, because
that's how
I read this, I was like, that's how I put my phone in my pocket. I always put it top down.
Yeah, that's how I do it too. And I don't really encounter pocket lint in my ports, to be honest. I know we've talked about it a lot.
Neither do I.
But it doesn't happen to me. But that's probably the reason why.
I think it's just you need less linty pockets.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. How much lint are you carrying around in your pockets these days? Like, for real. Maybe you just have very linty pockets.
Jeans have a lot of lint. Pants don't.
I wear jeans every day, and I put my phone in top down. I never have a lint problem.
There you go. There you go. But good. Thank you for sharing that. Very succinct tip, Claude. I think you nailed it. Probably for a lot of people, you saved some hassle. Don't have to get those port plugs like we were talking about and risk losing those. There you go. All right, we do have more emails coming up in this mega email section.
Feedback-a-palooza. I love when we have this kind of like a break in the action where we get to hear from you, the Android faithful.
That's right.
So our next email comes from Joey from Jersey, who says, on episode 579, there was the discussion about the new Fire tablet. Last year on Prime Day, I went and bought the Fire Tablet 10. It's perfect for what I mostly use it for. Though for those that are thinking to purchase one, the Amazon App Store, it's not great. Some apps are missing key features like downloading content for offline view, and most apps are not there. After sideloading Google Play service, I now get all the apps and their intended features I enjoy. A very nice feature is that I can expand the storage by adding an SD card. It gives you two options when setting it up: to use an external SD or act as internal storage. I opted to increase my internal storage. I do use it more as a media consumption device when I'm catching up on a show, like during my lunch break, or listening to a podcast while I'm going about my day. Some games would start to get sluggish if I ran them too long. If you like game streaming, Amazon Luna runs more smoothly on my tablet. GeForce Now and Stadia run okay. If you just want a tablet to watch your shows anywhere or read that comic you rented on Hoopla, it's a good tablet. If you want to play casual games, it is decent. Not meant for hardcore gaming unless you are playing Luna. And that's a great kind of practical review of the Fire Tablet 10. It reminded me the mention of the external SD card. Jason, do you remember a time on this show when I feel like the same level of passion in the past couple of years has been discussed about the headphone jack port on phone was about, like, it was a non-starter if that phone didn't have an SD card port.
Absolutely.
Right?
Because back in the day, that SD card slot was being used for a lot. Like, the internal storage wasn't nearly what it is now. Now, you're upwards of a terabyte potentially. But back then, if you wanted extra storage, that was the way to get it, because it shipped very, very light. on storage.
Right. And so it's neat to see that kind of existing alive and well in tablets and being able to expand your storage that way via Amazon. The whole thing about the Amazon Fire tablet, though, I feel like the point in the top of his email is just that the Amazon App Store is less than. Right. So how many average users know how to sideload Google Play services and work around it? Right. So,
yeah.
It's not just less than, it's vastly inferior.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's super less than.
Super duper less than. I'm trying to pull up the original Motorola Droid to see what the internal storage was on that. 512 megs of what? Was it really just that? 500
Was it?
500. Wait a minute. Hold on. Yeah, so 512 megs of internal storage. Yeah.
Wow.
So wait a minute. No, okay. So Wikipedia says memory 256 megs, mobile DDR SD RAM, storage 512 megs of flash memory, removable storage 16 gigs via micro SD card slot, expandable up to 64. So that was really how you were getting any sort of wow, I didn't remember it being that low. That's crazy.
Gigs or megabytes?
Well, just the internal storage, 512 megs. And but actually, now that I think about it, I do remember running out of space on the Motorola Droid a lot,
and you
having
could
to
probably
offload
run apps off the card.
Yes,
it was essential.
You could move apps to a card and everything. So that was really, critical, especially considering the amount of modification and stuff that I was doing with that device. What was your first Android phone? Was the G1, right?
It was.
So G1. I'm curious to know what internal storage on
G1
the G1
specs.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, okay, here we go. Oh, this is fantastic.
Isn't it crazy? It's crazy.
Here
to
it
see
is.
how
So
this
memory.
changes.
So it had a micro SD card. Internal had 192 mega RAM. 256 mega storage.
192? That's a
192.
specific amount.
Yeah, this is from GSM Arena, which sometimes they have their data. Sometimes their data is kind of wacky, but still, no matter
You're right. Maybe it could be part of its provision that you can't touch.
Yeah, no matter what, that is tiny.
Let's see. Yeah, no, it says RAM 0.2 gig on Phone Arena.
Jeez.
So that's about 192. That's 192.
We've come a long way. Holy moly.
256 meg in ROM. That is crazy.
Lee Woods in our Discord reminds us that storage was very expensive back then, which is true. Yeah. Storage is a lot cheaper now than it ever was back then.
God, man, look at that. When you look at the G1, just the search box and that gray tab to pull up the app drawer, oh my God, it was crazy.
Oh yeah,
that was crazy.
Big time. Yeah, difference.
Just the thing that darn little phone changed my life.
Yes, it did.
It really did.
There you go. No. Even though it had no storage hardly
storage whatsoever. Yeah.
But we had a way around it. That's the point. That's the point that you're making especially. And now, phones like we said, they've got so much storage that okay, sure, having a micro SD card slot, some people might enjoy having their entire music collection on a portable, removable piece of media that they can plop between devices very easily. But, people are streaming to the cloud. They aren't even storing things on their devices half the time. So storage is just the needs around storage are way different now.
Yeah, it's like back then we needed the storage.
Yes.
Whereas now we don't need the storage and we're drowning in storage.
Yes, exactly.
Fascinating.
Very different.
I love it.
Thank you, Joseph from Jersey, for writing in. Let's see here. Harry Meyer from Fort Lauderdale wrote in to say, on the last show, you discussed the new Google Watch and the low expectations about battery life. In fact, on this show, we did that too. I just want to point out that there are other choices. My smartwatch easily lasts 10 days between charges. It does all the basics that I need very well, including blood oxygen, saturation measurement, heart rate monitoring, step counting, sleep monitoring, app alerts, makes and receives calls using your phone, and many more. more. It has a beautiful AMOLED always-on display, and it is the thinnest and lightest smartwatch I've ever seen. As a bonus, I think it looks beautiful. This watch does everything I need it to do. It's the Amazfit GTR 2. I've had it for over 1 year, and I love it. I bought another watch a few years ago that had to be charged every day. I just couldn't hack that, and I got rid of it. I get that this watch isn't for everybody, but every time I recommend it to someone, they dismiss it out of hand. The Apple Watch is the only choice for them. I just wanted to let you know you don't have to settle for charging your watch every day. And right on. That's a great review and a very glowing endorsement of the Amazfit GTR 2. And we're looking at photos of it right now. Yeah, that's a nice looking watch. Got to say.
Yeah, not bad. Yeah. I have a hard time with the word Amazfit.
It's amazing.
Yeah, but whatever. We can't pick our brands, right? So.
Well, and it says Alexa built in. I wonder, is the Amaze for Amazon? I don't know.
I don't know.
Amazfit? Is it actually Amazfit? Amazfit GTR 2. I don't know. But there you go. So if y'all are looking for a smartwatch that does all those things and actually lasts longer, and in particular is Harry's favorite smartwatch, there you go.
Yep.
What's that? Waiting for.
I was saying it has music storage and playback.
Oh, okay. So on device. Okay. Wow. Does a lot of things.
Cool.
Not too bad. All right. Thank you, Harry.
All right. Well, now it is time. I put the clarion call out to the Android community, and now we have a response, and that response is indeed our email of the week. It comes from.
I just got to say real quick, we put the call out to the Android community, and one person wrote it for it. So it wasn't an overwhelming response. I think that says something about Bixby. But anyways, continue.
So Jason Bixby Joao wrote in, and he says, "Damn, my name isn't Bixby. I do use Bixby, though. It works and sets itself apart as a voice-driven tool to operate the phone. There are a lot of uses for Bixby, but in my case, I use it to navigate between apps and listen to messages within my unread box on various apps. Bixby is also useful for toggling shortcuts on the notification panel. Bixby is an enhancement feature by Samsung. As a result, it is allowed to operate the phone device itself on a deeper level than Google's voice assistant. Basically, the two assistants exist for different things. I'm sure." Well, my phone just lit up saying, "How can I help?" So Jason says, "I'm sure it also provides an enhanced accessibility experience, although I can't speak to that."
Yeah. I think that's kind of primarily the benefit of Bixby, right? Is that it is of course Samsung's baby. It's Samsung's voice assistant, and Samsung has the right to give it more capabilities than maybe an assistant inherently has access to. And so if you're willing to play in that sandbox and learn that syntax and everything, then you have the potential to have more control over your device as a result, and that's a pretty big plus.
Yeah. So there you go, loyal Bixby user. His name isn't Bixby,
no,
but he is using Bixby. It seems happily. So if you also are using Bixby happily, and if your name is Bixby, or if you've ever met Bill Bixby, write in. And just in general, write us in. We love to hear from you. Email us at AAA@twit.tv. We love to hear from you. Write in about anything. Write in about Bixby.
Yeah. We want to hear more about Bixby, although I think it's pretty hilarious that we got one response. Either people didn't care to share their opinion, or there really weren't that many people out there who
I
thought
think it
Bixby.
nails it perfectly. It's what you said. There's like one person out there
but
who uses it and thinks positively of it.
Yeah, and Bixby's in his name. That's why he used it in the first place. Not true. Thank you, Jason, for being the email of the week. Oh, yeah.
Well deserved.
Yes, indeed. And with that, we have reached the end of this. You know what this was? This was a Palooza-palooza episode because it was Rumor Palooza, And it was Email Palooza, Feedback Palooza. Yep. So it's the Palooza-palooza episode. Palooza-palooza episode. Hopefully next week, get out there and encourage smartphone manufacturers, technology companies to make some Android news in the coming week. All right. If you can convince them to make some big notable Android news, we'll talk about news and not rumors next week on the show. But sometimes it's fun to talk about the rumors too. It's always a good time. So, thank you for watching and listening. Ron, what do you want to leave people with?
Well, I heard a rumor that I want to leave them with. No, I'm just kidding. Go follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at RonXO. And if you're into pinball, go check out Scorebit. We're in the Google Play Store. You can download the mobile app, keep track of your scores, find places to play pinball, and go to scorebit.io if you want to check out the cool hardware we sell where you can connect your pinball machine to the internet. Fun times. So, yeah.
It's cool.
Fun way to pass the time.
Yes, indeed. I wish I had a pinball machine. I'd play that.
I just got a new one. Actually, if you go to my Instagram, go to Instagram.com/RonXO. My most recent photo.
Anytime you say that, I hear a sigh.
STAGRAM.
I'm loading it up here. Here, I'll paste it in chat. Burke.
RonXO.
I got you.
You might need to refresh the chat, the doc, Burke.
There you go.
Oh, wait a minute. That's not it. /RonXO. Do I need to do it yourself? Here, I'll give you the direct link. Hang on to the photo.
Is it?
There you go, Burke. It's in the chat.
Because I'm looking. I see, but I can't actually click on the images to enlarge them without logging in.
Scroll down. Oh, they're hiding the...
No.
Here, try this. Try this. It's in the chat. It's in the chat. Try this.
I'm not in the chat.
Okay, I put it in the doc. Too. Refresh the doc.
Right.
I'm just trying to make Burke get so angry.
Yes.
But anyway, I got a brand new machine recently, and so I took a great picture of the lineup in the garage.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, so we talked about it in the past, but I've got Guns N' Roses there it is on the left.
Yeah, you won't be able to click on it though, Burke. It'll ask you to log in, but you can zoom in on it.
But you can zoom in on it.
Okay.
Guns N' Roses is there on the right. On the left is Raven, and in the middle is the new baby, which is Cactus Canyon. It's not the original Cactus Canyon; it's a remake. Basically, Cactus Canyon was a pinball machine from the late '90s it was the last one that Bally Midway made, so it had a limited run. So right now, I think they're very expensive. They're like, if you found one, it's like $20,000. But a company, Chicago Gaming Company, got the license and is making new versions of it. And so I got one of the new ones, and very excited.
And if you get the new version of it, the remake, I mean, is it pretty true to the original? It's just it doesn't carry the same value, but it's the same.
It doesn't carry the same value because it's not as scarce as the original. But actually, the original, because the company went out of business, they never finished the game code, so there was stuff on the playfield that just didn't do anything. And so for this release, they got one of the best designers in pinball history, who unfortunately passed away this year, but to finish the code. So the last project he worked on before he passed away was finishing this code. So now the game is more complete. So which
probably
is cool.
breaks less too, right? Maybe.
Yeah, because it's newer.
Yeah,
I mean,
like physically.
Potentially. Yeah. I mean, it's got newer parts and all that sort of stuff. They all break though, because it's physical, and
eventually
rubber bands snap and plastic break and stuff like that. You're shooting a metal ball at high velocity.
Yes.
Plastic and rubber. Things are going to break.
Yeah, no kidding. That's so cool. How cool that you can just go out to your garage and play pinball. That's pretty.
It's fun. I'm going to do that. I'm going to after we wrap up, I'm going to go do the recycling and play a couple games of pinball. So.
Right on. Cool. And do you have your hardware that is hard to make? It's in Guns N' Roses. We're working with the company that does Cactus Canyon to get it to work in that, and Raven is it's an 80s one. It's the chip that it's in there. We're actually working on the firmware right now to support it. So yeah, nice.
We'll get there. So I've got one of three, but the goal is to get all three in there.
Right on.
So,
how cool. Awesome.
Fun times.
Well, have fun taking out the trash and then also playing pinball.
Recycling night.
Yep.
I will.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, Burke, for keeping up with all of the on-the-fly requests of you this evening.
You mean failing on that?
You've been doing a great job, Burke. You don't need to do the buzzer. You don't deserve the buzzer. I get a special seat for this show because I hear, even when Burke's mic is off, all the times that he has a deep sigh related to certain things.
Cursing at Ron.
I hear him over the corner.
Throwing the wrench in.
What?
Lots of that. So thank you, Burke. Also, thank you, Victor, behind the scenes, editing the show. He's the one that brings you this podcast in podcast form, cleans it up if there's anything to be cleaned up and publishes it out for you.
Lots of cleaning tonight.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. But anyways, thank you for all of your hard work all the time, Victor. Appreciate you. And you can find me on Twitter at Jason Howell. Normally, Tech News Weekly on Thursdays with Micah Sargent, twit.tv/TNW. I won't be on this week because Memorial Day fell on a Monday, and I have to take a day off, so I'm taking Thursday off. It's the only day that made sense this time around. But you should definitely check it out because Micah's already got some really interesting interviews lined up. Don't forget Club Twit, twit.tv/clubtwit. Ad-free subscription tier for all the content that we do here at Twit. And actually, it gives you access to everything that we do. If you are a member of Club Twit, you also get access, aside from our shows with no ads, you get access to Twit Plus. It's bonus content. It's just a whole bunch of awesome stuff that isn't included on our normal feeds. And then you also get access to our members-only Discord. All that for just $7 per month. twit.tv/clubtwit. As for this show, it's twit.tv/AAA. Go there and you can subscribe in all different fashions and forms of podcast, and jump out to YouTube, subscribe there, and you'll get it every Tuesday because that's when we record this show. Every single Tuesday, you'll get it late in the evening, early morning. If you're subscribed, you don't have to think about it, so do that. Thank you so much for watching and listening each and every week. We appreciate y'all, and we will see you next time on another episode of All About Android. Bye, everybody.
Love you, Burke.
Hey, I'm Rod Pyle, editor of Ad Astra Magazine, and each week I'm joined by Tarek Malik, the editor-in-chief over at Space.com, in our new This Week in Space podcast. Every Friday, Tarek and I take a deep dive into the stories that define the new space age. What's NASA up to? When will Americans once again set foot on the moon? And how about those samples from the Perseverance rover? When are those coming home? What the heck has Elon Musk done now? In addition to all the latest and greatest in space exploration, we'll take an occasional look at bits of spaceflight history that you probably never heard of, and all with an eye towards having a good time along the way. Check us out in your favorite podcatcher.